Come on, pick up the phone, pick up the phone. I left you 2 text messages and a voicemail. Why are you not picking the phone up? 5 reasons real estate agents hate working with you. My name is Sean Slaughter, real estate agent and investor, and today I want to talk about 5 reasons other agents hate working with you. Obviously, as a real estate agent, working with your clients and taking care of your clients is number one. Why? Because if you want to be successful in this business, you have to take care of your clients. Your clients refer you to other people, and that's just a great way for you to continue to progress and grow as a real estate agent. But another equally important thing is to have good relationships with other real estate agents. Why? Because when you're doing a deal, it's not just you, it's you and another agent that are trying to help your clients reach the final goal of a sale. So, these 5 things I'm going to talk about, you do not want to do, because if you do, other agents will hate working with you. Number 1, you don't respond in a timely manner. That comes to phone calls, texts, and emails. I have a agent that I'm working on a deal with right now who is the absolute worst. My transaction coordinator is like, why won't this lady respond? Doesn't respond to emails, doesn't respond to text. She'll pick up the phone when I call, but why are you making this process more difficult than it needs to be? I ask her for stuff, she doesn't send me stuff, but when she's ready to get some stuff signed, she'll send it to me. And she's managing her clients poorly. They said that they would accept our offer, and it took her almost 2 days to get the offer signed and back to us so I can ratify it. This is exceedingly frustrating. Exceedingly frustrated. What it also does is when you don't respond in a timely manner, you're telling people that their requests or what they need is not important. One of the best ways to handle this is just to text back, hey, I'm busy right now, I'll call you back. Or hey, I got your request, I'll get back to you in the morning. That's it. That little small communication lets other agents know you're important to me, I received your communication, and I'm going to get right back to you. I just can't do it right now. Number 2, you have a bad attitude. This is one of the worst things you can have as a real estate agent. I worked with an agent who I will not name, but is one of the worst agents I've ever worked with. The deal took about 6 months to complete. She was just not a good person. She overcharged her client who she was listing the house for. House sat on the market for like a year. She charged her client 10% commission and she took 6.5% of it. She just wasn't a very nice person. Left me nasty voicemails, called me names. I mean, she was the worst. It was so funny because the loan officer, I had the buyer, the loan officer saw that name and recognized the name because he worked with her 20 years ago. And he said in his mind, I will never, ever deal with this person again. And unfortunately he had to because, this is who we brought in the house from. But that is what a bad attitude will do. It'll cause you to have a bad reputation. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have problems in a transaction. A transaction always has issues. But how you solve those issues is what separates you from the good and the great. To your clients and to other agents, you should be somebody that is going to be positive, be hopeful, bring peace to a negotiation, not stress. Number 3, you're unreasonable. Now look, in a transaction, your clients are always going to make unreasonable requests and have unreasonable behavior. For instance, you may have a buyer that signed an agreement, purchase agreement, saying we're not going to ask for any repairs. We're going to take it as is. Then you do a home inspection and they're asking you to ask the other side for a bunch of repairs. What are you going to do? Number 1, you should have already managed your client's expectations. Say, hey, look, in our purchase agreement, we've already agreed we're not going to ask them for anything. Okay? Is there one thing in particular that you really, really would like to have addressed? All right. What one thing would you really like to have addressed? Then I would go to the other agent and say, hey, look, I know in our agreement we said we're going to take it as is. My client really has this one issue with this one thing. Is there any way that your seller can address it? I'm going to approach that listing agent or that other agent with humility, with grace. I'm not going to be unreasonable. I'm not going to be all, you need to so and so forth and my client ain't. No. That's not how you handle a transaction. That's not how you handle a negotiation. So manage your client's unreasonable expectations, and you don't be unreasonable within a transaction. Number 4, you lie. You ain't gotta lie, Craig. My broker told me of all the things that we were taught, number 1, don't lie. Why? The Bible says that a good name is better than silver or gold. Your credibility is hinged upon your honesty and your integrity and your character. If around town you're known as the realtor that tells lies or just says stuff to try to get the deal closed, that is going to follow you, not only from clients, but other agents. When you submit an offer or you have a listing, oh, trust me, I'll tell my client, look, you know I work for you, and so I'll do what's in your best interest, but I'm going to let you know right now, I've worked with this agent before, and this agent is not a good agent to work with. If you want to work with them, buyer beware. And lastly, 5, you're not a cooperating player. And here's what I mean. The listing agent works for the seller. The selling agent works for the buyer, right? We're on 2 different teams, but we still have to cooperate. Why? Because the transaction cannot work unless there's some cooperation. The seller has a house that the buyer wants. They're going to have to work together. They can't be at such opposite ends of the pole, or the transaction is not going to work. Here's how I like to think about it. In the NBA, you have teams that are fighting one another to win a championship. But those teams also must work together to support the overall NBA. Because if there's no NBA, then there's no championship to fight for. So in the same way, as an agent, I'm going to fight for my client. I'm going to defend my client. But at the same time, it is in my client's best interest to make sure that we're negotiating fairly and that we're cooperating so that we can get to the end of this transaction and my buyer can get the house that they want, or my seller can sell the house for the price that makes sense for them. So make sure you're an agent that's always willing to work in a cooperating fashion. Well, that's it, y'all. Please like, subscribe, and karate chop that bell. I love you guys. Be motivated, stay encouraged, stay inspired. I know you can do this business. My name is Sean Slaughter. This is the House of Motivation, the place where inspiration lives.